Hi guys, I'm Philadelphia from FacePaintingTips.com and welcome to the series How Face Painters Can Thrive in Tough Times. This is part 5, and if you've missed any previous episodes you can find them on our blog at facepaintingtips.com/blog. Okay, so today in part 5 we're going to cover how much to charge for face painting. So let's jump into this. Now there are 12 questions that you need to ask yourself, and unfortunately I can't give a sort of general exact dollar amount for you to charge, and that's because there are so many things that factor into it. So what I can do is tell you all the things that you need to factor into the equation that will help you to come up with a fair price for everybody involved. Okay, question 1. What area do you want to work in? Now, the area you work in will factor into how much you can reasonably charge. So find out how much is being charged by other face painters and have a look at the quality and speed of their work and other things too, like their professionalism, and compare yourselves to them. Now, this will at the very least give you a ballpark and a place to start from in terms of how much you should be charging. Question 2. How much experience do you have face painting? Okay, if you're new to this, you might not be as quick as those who have been doing it for years. So if it takes you like 10 minutes to do a design, you probably can't charge the same amount per hour as someone who can paint the same design in 5 minutes. Question 3. What kind of event are you painting at? Now, if it's a charity event, you might choose to give a discount, okay? Some painters even charge just enough to cover their expenses, and this can be a great way to get exposure, especially if you're starting out. You might want to do a charity event because you'll get a chance to hand out business cards and you'll get a chance to show people in the public your work. And you're likely, very likely, to get at least a couple of gigs from doing a big charity event. And if it's a big festival or certain like a corporate event, you might be able to negotiate benefits on top of your payment, like free parking and things like that, even maybe free meal. Now it's up to you to be sort of nifty and you might find that there's some kind of trade that you can do with the organizer. So keep that in mind. Question 4. What do you need to supply? Now, do you need to supply your own shelter? Okay, it's important. If you are required to bring your own marquee or tent, it is very reasonable to charge a little extra on top of that. You see, setting up a marquee takes time, and you'll have to show up to the gig earlier. So you got to think about that. That's effort to set up the marquee, and it's also your time. So definitely charge extra on top of that. I know face painters who do that, who might charge like an extra $20 for the gig just to bring their marquee. Question 5. How far do you have to drive? Find out where the gig is on a map, and I'd say if the gig is less than like 25 minutes away, then give them your standard price. But if it's more than 25 minutes, you can charge more per hour for every additional 15 minutes of driving time. Or at least just charge on the first hour by maybe about $8 to $12 for every additional 15 minutes of driving time. So you've got to factor that in because there's fuel and there's also your driving time. Question 6. Are you the only face painter? Now, if more than one face painter is needed, then you'll of course charge more per hour. You can charge up to double, obviously, for 2 face painters, but you might want to give a small discount if possible. So if you charge, say, $85 per hour for the one, you might want to charge $160 for 2. Just because you won't have exactly double the amount of expenses, so you can afford to give a little discount because you might share the same table or you might go to the gig in the same car. So, take those things into account. Question 7. Do you have to wear special clothing? Okay, if you wear a costume, factor the cost of your clothing into the mix. Costumes can be expensive, and you've got to spend more time preparing for each gig, so you should charge more. And if you don't offer characters with your face painting, in your face painting business, I highly suggest you do because parents are more than willing to pay a little extra just to have you in a princess outfit or dressed up as a pirate. Okay, and it's a lot of fun. You're really then creating an experience for the children, and they will love it, and the parents will love it, and it's definitely worth the extra money. So I think you should definitely offer it. It's a really great upsell to have. Question 8. What conditions are you going to be working under? If it's going to be outside in the heat of an unbearable summer or outside in the middle of a freezing winter, it's reasonable to charge extra because we all know how incredibly uncomfortable it can be to try and work in extreme weather. Question 9. When was the event booked? If they left it till the last minute and you had to reschedule your plans around it, it's definitely reasonable that you charge a little extra. So set a time frame and let people know that if they want to book an event in less than 3 or 4 days, or maybe 1 or 2, that there will be an additional cost. And people generally expect this anyway. Question 10. Will you be working per hour or per face? Now with birthday parties, you'll be working per hour. It's the easiest way to do it. So make sure that you know how many faces you can paint per hour so you can tell the potential customer how many faces you can paint in the hour, so they'll know how many hours they need to hire you for. So if you can paint 10 faces in an hour and they've got 30 people at the party, then they'll know, okay, we need to hire her for 3 hours. Now with festival events, you can either be paid per hour by the organizer, or you can be paid per face by the individual consumers. So one tip is if you know that there's not going to be a large crowd there, to keep you busy the whole time, try to get them to agree on a rate per hour. Try to get them to pay you per hour. That way, if it's not busy, at least you're still getting paid your hourly rate. Okay, whereas if you know it's going to be packed and you know you can paint a lot of faces per hour, then definitely go for the per face option. Question 11. Are you doing cheek art or full faces? Now, some painters charge less for cheek art because it's smaller and takes less time, but I've found sometimes cheek art can take the same amount of time as full face designs, so you might want to have a separate board for designs that you know will take a longer time to paint and charge more for those regardless of whether it's cheek art or full face. And question 12, are you in demand? Okay, if you're, say, a festival which goes over more than one day, or if you do like a weekly market or something, and the first day it's absolutely jam-packed and you've got like half people waiting, lining up half an hour to get their faces painted, then definitely next time you paint there, put your prices up, even if it's just a little, because you're worth it. You're obviously worth it because people wouldn't be standing in line waiting half an hour for you if you weren't worth it. They've obviously seen your other people walking around with your face painting designs on them and they've really liked it, and that's why they're waiting in line that long. So you're worth it. Put your prices up a little. And that brings us to the end of part 5. So thank you for watching, and I hope you go out there and research your market and look at what other face painters are charging first of all, and then take all those other things into account. I can't wait to hear from you and what you've done with your face painting business and the things that you've applied from the series and how it's worked for you. And of course, stay tuned for part 6, where I will be discussing 7 ways to promote your business online. Now, this is something that face painters should be doing more of. There are so many easy, cheap, and a lot of the times free ways to promote yourself on the internet, and a lot of face painters aren't doing this, and if they are, they're doing it the wrong way. So stay tuned for part 6. I'm going to show you some of the 7 best ways to promote yourself online, and I'm going to show you how to do it the right way. Okay, now it's coming close to the launch of How to Start a Face Painting Business, our new training manual package, and I've been getting a lot of emails from face painters saying, I can't wait to get it, I can't wait to order it, and just a lot of questions about it as well. And you know what, I'm not surprised, because there is nothing quite like this out there, and it's a real shame because there are lots of face painters out there and people who genuinely want to work with children and make them happy, but they just don't know how to get there, how to start a face painting business, how to get regular work. And it's such a shame, because I would love to see more face painters out there doing the work that you do, because it makes such a beautiful and positive impact on children and adults. I know that a lot of face painters have children, and it's obviously a very time consuming thing. You don't have time to like take a course in marketing or advertising, and that's why I'm so glad to be releasing this training manual package that you can have at home and you can go through in your own time. It's really a joy to be able to teach this and to help talented artists make a living doing what they love. So please stay tuned for the next episode where I'll be teaching you how to promote yourself online, and stay tuned also for the launch of the new training manual package, How to Start a Face Painting Business.